Why do we have bad days? And how to turn them to good days. A bad day is one of the natural happenings that can ever take place in a person's life. No full-blooded human has a complete year devoid of roller coaster moments, accompanied by feelings of dejection, irritation, and outright discontentment. Bad days could come when you are just getting done with feeling high and lucky. That familiar emotional wackiness that announces hormonal changes can make the day very bad. Truly, the will to remain in bed and locked out from other humans is very strong on a very bad day. Mood swinging like a pendulum bulb suspended on a frayed piece of sensitive nerve could actually hit anybody, especially those that contributed nothing in keeping one that way on a bad day. On that day, you care less about smiling and maybe manners. It is as though there is a gang-up in the celestials to make your life miserable. Bad days are real, so are good days. In this video, we'll be sharing with you the reasons why we have bad days and what to do about them. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. 1. Failed plan. It is more infuriating than disappointing to be late for a crucial business meeting when you had outlined how you would arrive the meeting venue an hour earlier. Instead, you sacrificed your timeliness to an unanticipated traffic in the middle of a major road. The gridlock was so tight that all you could manage to do in that state was to hiss repeatedly in irritation and out of frustration. The climax of the badness would be getting to know that you would have to wait in the traffic for the next 3 hours. It would take an iron heart to not weep helplessly. Such failed plan qualifies to cause a bad day. What should you do about failed plans? Remember, you are human and limited. Decide to be cheerful despite the disappointment. 2. Stress and distress. Much grinding of the body could trigger off feelings of being used and dumped. We could get quite entangled with the hustles and hustles for survival, giving room for our bodies to be overflogged by daily activities with little rest as a form of renewal. While stress is required to get things done, getting drained mentally and physically can cause distress, the granddad of a bad day. Alienating oneself from fun activities all the time, inadequate rest, poor feeding pattern or lifestyle, and little sleep can make a bad day happen almost on a regular basis. Lack of sleep has been pinned down as another factor in causing a stressful bad day. It is humorous to consider hydrating frequently as a way to decrease the number of times a bad day occurs. Nonetheless, it is as serious as it can get. Hydrating the body with water detoxifies the body system, thereby taking off some disease loads that could distress a person. Stress can lead to burnouts, situations where one has been terribly drained emotionally and physically to the point of feeling frustrated. Sometimes, stress is not about working for hours non-stop. It could be a pull beyond what one can bear mentally or emotionally. What can you do about stress? Remember that the purpose of life is to live and enjoy living. Identify your source of stress and think on how you could deal with them. Can you delegate some tasks? Can you avoid some meetings? Can you say no more frequently? 3. Loss. The death of a loved one, the messy breakup of a relationship, relocation from a place that has been home to a person. These are realities that could suck out happiness from a healthy life. The attachment we develop with people, objects, and places can be threatened by occurrences which we have little or no control of. The feeling of loss could come after a major misunderstanding with your significant other, which led you to a messy fight and many arguments. That day will be officially a bad day. Days that follow such losses are uniquely filled with ill feelings. For a period of time, grieving for the losses seems to be the most cherished thing to do. It only takes will and determination to pick the pieces of what was left broken in order to overcome bouts of sadness anger, and frustration associated with dealing with a loss. What do you do about loss? Remember, everything is temporal, including you. Remember that death doesn't exist. It's simply a transition from one realm to another. Believe that things happen for your good. Cry and mourn, but don't overthink stuff. 4. Staying lonely. This is the era of social media, so there is seemingly no reason to be or feel lonely. However, it appears that more people in this high-powered connection age are getting on by themselves in cocoons of loneliness. Staying lonely is much more different from staying alone. The former is possible even in the midst of a multitude of people. There is no emotional connection or tie with these people, and this results in sad feelings that do not always go away on time. It is very difficult to live through a day happily when nobody cares about your welfare nor desires to show compassion to you. Thousands of Facebook friends, tens of thousands of Instagram followers, and actively updating news on Twitter do not guarantee staying out of loneliness. The basic relief comes from bonding and sharing with real people who go beyond being superficial to getting deeply involved with one's life. Make meaningful connections which are beyond the social media. Visit people you care about, talk, dream, and plan together. 5. Depression. The word depression is actually depressing to examine. It is a feeling marked with much sadness, abandonment, loss of interest in activities that used to be fun to do, loss of appetite, and emotional pain. Depression could be situational, where something bad causes it, or clinical, where both in the good and bad times a person is always feeling unhappy and uninterested. Severe forms of depression sometimes lead to entertaining suicidal thoughts with every waking day. Depression is linked with heightened levels of irritability, anger, and hopelessness. No matter how much a depressed person tries to be happy, there persists a feeling of being down and out in him. Nothing seems to solve the inner problems only him can perceive. Bad days are much more frequent in depressive states of mind. Mood swings occur at will following the reminder of a chronic problem. The fluctuations in emotion make it a problem for a person suffering from depression to concentrate fully on a task. What will be paramount on his mind is to lock people out and stay alone in his dark hole. Signs associated with depression should never be taken for granted. Professional help needs to be sought for without any further delay, because depression can kill. 6. Bad news and anxiety. Bad news makes the news. Stories about killings, maiming, starvation, robbery, domestic abuse, suicide bombings, and natural disasters are bad news capable of ruining an otherwise good day. Media outlets derive satisfaction presenting bad occurrences in the most vivid way, which can leave one with much resentment for government and society. This feeling of resentment can climax into anxiety. Anxiety makes one become constantly worried and afraid of the future. An anxious person is always jittery and hyper-aroused. Every bit of information is like to cause fear in him. Hypochondriacs are in the category of frequent anxious people. They fear for their lives and always think that the latest disease reported about by the World Health Organization is lying somewhere on their respective doorsteps to consume them. When they fail to find answers to the symptoms of sickness they feel, they definitely entertain a bad day. It is noteworthy that anxiety is not taken as seriously as depression, a condition which makes it tasking to develop a generally acceptable treatment for it. Anxiety can arise following a bad dream, especially in very religious individuals. From the waking moment to the time that the day becomes over, it is moodiness all the way because of a bad dream anticipated to become a reality in no distant time. What do you do about bad news? Turn your face to the other side of life. Feed your mind with positive images. Think positive thoughts. Dream positive dreams. Remember that there are thousands of good things happening around the world every day, but the journalists chose bad news because it sells their paper better. In summary, bad day is inevitable. It is a sign that life is curvy and not a straight path of high moments all the time. It can be an indication of an underlying psychological need that demands dire attention. To overcome a bad day, it is important to believe that it is but for a moment, which is indicative that it shall pass. Rather than being passive concerning your state of happiness by letting ugly moments to complete their cycles before you resume being happy, actively seek out ways to regain your bouncy times even in the face of a lingering bad day. Remember, you become what you choose to be. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Look at your screen now to see 2 other videos we handpicked for you to enjoy next. We love you.